Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion, place of Binding of Isaac Afterbirth. Plus, you might be like, yeah, no, you sad you lost that last keeper run? Nah, dude, don't cry because it's flipping over, man. Smile because it friggin' happened, you know? It's good, good advice, maybe said crassly. A7G442LP, as we play as the Forgotten here. When are you gonna do a rerun? When are you gonna do It's the Key Challenge? They will happen, okay? I'm just, you know, I am a streaker who's probably gonna streak again. Ed, forgive me! Achievements I don't understand. I'm enjoying, it's a steeped in hip-hop references way of describing that I'm having a good time playing the game right now. And I've said it before, I have a very simple philosophy on Isaac, and in content creation in general, you know? Whoa, that is incredible. If you, people ask, NL, how is it conceivable? You have managed to play this game, oh, I very nearly lost my heart, It's a new song I'm workshopping. It's called 8 Rings. No consumable. It's so simple. It's the easiest thing in the world. The best way, there's 2 ways to ensure you can play 1,500 hours of a video game. One is to design the video game to be so addictive that even when you look at it objectively and you go, I'm not having that much fun, you continue to play it nonetheless. And a good example of that is League of Legends, Dota, Heroes of the Storm, anything in the MOBA genre, and a lot of MMOs. And don't shoot the messenger, by the way. I know enough about the MOBA community. You know, I've got over 1,000 hours in Dota 2 myself, despite having not played the game for almost 5 years now. Basically cold turkey. I think most people would agree with that. They would be like, you know, Dota's a great game. I hate playing it. I don't even enjoy myself when I win. But there's a brief, like, serotonin hit that happens, or a dopamine hit that happens when you win. That's nice at the very least. Well, we got Plan C for no reason. The other one is to play it in the way that maximizes your enjoyment, while also making the game pretty much the foundation of your career. And that's where I'm at with Isaac, you know? I don't feel the obligation to force myself to do X and Y immediately at moments when it might seem like most appropriate. I go with the flow a little bit, and as a result, that's why you very, very, well, I shouldn't say that's why. It's perhaps one of the reasons you very, very rarely hear me say something like, hey, I'm just not feeling it today, I'm going to take a day off, you know? I practice self-care on a daily basis by doing things in the easiest way applicable to myself and myself alone. And then I act smug about it later and go, I don't see why all the other YouTubers find it so hard. Just smile. Anyway, I'm being facetious, of course. Yo, store credit. This run is popping. I'm not going to say it's an easy win because our HP is a little funky, but it's probably on its way. Let's take it. It'll be strange. It's probably on its way to being an interesting or easy win. And I'm very happy at least we're able to go back to our shop, go to our item room, etc., and be good to go here. Today is, that's a secret room for sure. It's Sunday, pre-subscriber stream, pre-Subnautica. Feeling good. Sure, why not? Woke up on time today. Yesterday, we visited some friends. Upstate Washington. I know you're like, NL, that's not how upstate works. Guess what? That's how it works now. I'm tired of these New Yorkers. Upstate is a New York thing only. Nah. Same with tri-state. I'm bringing it back. Tri-state area, Washington, Oregon, California. That's the West Coast tri-state area. Ain't got malaria yet because the blood type red. We're heading down. Got a lot of items. Ill-gotten gains on that floor. I watched an early release of the film How to Train Your Dragon 3. It was a children's movie. I don't say that to be dismissive. It's a little bit Bumblebee-ish, but I think it was definitely better than Bumblebee. And I'm saying this, you know, the movie, it doesn't come out for like a week or something, so I might be, you know, among the first, you know, 100,000 people to see it or something like that. I mean, it did do screenings across the whole world, so, I mean, I'm not the first person on Earth to see it. Be a little spotty here. Here's what you do. You go like that, switch, Alges, Bracano. It's a Bracano. It's the Bracano room. I don't say this to diminish the enjoyment that you might have. Yeah, why not? If you're a big fan of the franchise. But, you know, what I was going to say before I got so rudely distracted by my own train of thought is that it reminds me a lot of Bumblebee. I can totally see, like, this movie when... Careful. This movie, when it comes out, you know, wide for critics, is literally going to have, like, a 90+ on Rotten Tomatoes. And then the average user score is going to be, like, a B. And that's okay. At the end of the day, it's a movie for children. It's a very likable movie. I went into it as an adult and, you know, was like, they haven't earned a lot of these moments, but it's a movie for kids, you know? Now I understand how a lot of people feel about Star Wars. Where they're like, what's up with all the quipping? And then you're like, oh, right, this movie franchise, the first one was like original, and then after that, they were mostly designed to sell action figures to 10-year-olds. You know, that's, no offense. I also like the Star Wars films. Basically without exception, except for like all the prequels, except for the third one. Anyway, we don't need to go down this road for the 15th time. I'm just saying. Movie is fine. Not a masterpiece. For sure, from an adult standpoint, but you know, if you got to say it, take the kiddos to see it. I will say that, you know, when Holy Mantle, by the way. Holy Mantle and Mom's Knife in 2 of our first 3 item rooms. Tell me the game is not apologizing for the way that it treated me on that keeper run. Either way, it did make me appreciate how good Spider-Verse was. Because, you know, in Spider-Verse, the hottest take that I could come away with in that movie was like, hey, the story is a little pedestrian, a little paint by numbers. But as an adult, I still had a fantastic time watching the movie. No thank you. Even though we could take those. I'd rather deal with the angel potential, I think. I still had a lovely time watching that movie. And I didn't have a bad time watching How to Train Your Dragon 3 either. But, you know, that was a movie. Spider-Verse is like a general audience's film. How to Train Your Dragon 3. I was like, this is a kid's movie that adults will also not have a bad time watching. I made a tweet about it. It's a little bit of a hot take, I'll level with you, but the tweet was, my review of How to Train Your Dragon 3 is, if you told me every male actor in the movie was TJ Miller, I would agree with you. So apparently they're not all TJ Miller, and let me hit you with another hot one. Apparently, none of them are TJ Miller. You know, TJ Miller, the bartender from Deadpool, and also the guy from Silicon Valley who's drunk all the time, and then also he played a role in that show. It's a joke about substance abuse. Anyway, you know, he was previously attached to the franchise, and I know that because one of the dudes in the show talks like this. Hey, let me give you some advice, Hiccup. Dude, you gotta lose it on the blah blah, you know? And I guess as a result of his legal troubles, he has found himself removed from the voice actor of a children's franchise. I gotta say, I feel for him. Sincerely feel for him. Even though I think TJ Miller is kind of a D-bag, and he did call in a bomb threat on an Amtrak train while intoxicated just to get back at somebody he didn't like that was on the train. Okay, you know what? I've lost a lot of sympathy for him over the course of the past like couple of sentences here, but simultaneously I wouldn't say I feel bad for him in the sense that, like, you know, he got a tough break. Where I feel for him is like, I can't imagine what it's like to lose, and I'm not saying voice acting is the easiest job on the planet, but what I will say is, you know, look at the star-studded cast of How to Train Your Dragon 3. F. Murray Abraham, Cate Blanchett, Jonah Hill, you know, Oscar nominees, Oscar winners, etc., etc. And then tell me that it's not the most desirable job on the planet. Cate Blanchett, you know, she's been in, I have to pop this just to get the dice chart, I think. she's been in Oscar-winning films where, you know, she utilizes her incredible acting talents. She's been in the Lord of the Rings movies, for God's sake. Why not take the compass, I guess? There's no way that, you know, the script comes across her agent's desk and her agent is like, yo, Kate, I got this great movie for you. It's called How to Train Your Dragon. You know, she's like, oh, who's directing it? Martin Scorsese? Oh, it's some guy that directed a Moby music video 6 years ago, you know? And then she's like, okay, how much does it pay? Oh, it's $100 trillion. Okay, I'll do it, you know? To lose out on that role. Well, we got bad stat changes here, but that's fine. To lose out on that role, it's gotta be like a kick in the teeth, right? I'm trying to come up with a better way to explain it, but I feel like once you have a starring or co-starring vocal role in a children's franchise where every movie makes like $500 million or more worldwide, you're set. All you gotta do is not call in a bomb threat on a train. And I understand, you know, he's had some substance problems in his life, and I don't do these videos to celebrity gossip. I'm just saying, like, you know, I've missed out on some opportunities in my life, I suppose, you know? Had that email from Markiplier I never replied to. Who knows? You know, we could be playing Dungeons and Dragons together right now, and I can get out of this podunk one-horse town. But what I have never done is, you know, given up the most stable, profitable job on the planet in a long-running animated franchise beloved the world over. You know, that's just like, that's gotta hurt. I don't even say that just to, sorry, did I leave a luck upgrade in here? I did. I don't say it to be rude to TJ Miller, although, you know, perhaps the rudeness is not wholly undeserved based on the whole Amtrak thing, but you know, I'm sympathetic. If anything, it's gotta hurt. But you know, best of luck to you. Deadpool 3, baby, redemption. If Charlie Sheen can come back, there's no reason Theodore James Miller can't. Mind you, there is one thing Charlie Sheen never did. And I think you probably don't need me to say what it is for the 4th time this video, but anyway. So that was my Saturday. Played a game of 4 Souls, lost, but it was fun. It was a good time. Did a lot of driving. I will say, you know what was nice? The theater we went to, and the tickets, I would be remiss if I didn't mention that they were given to us by a friend. So thank you for that. But it was one of those theaters that I've never been to before, where it was like reclining seats. And you know, normally I'm still used to the, you know, you walk into a movie theater and, you know, it's packed with seats, wall-to-wall seats. This one, I walked in and I was like, there's only like 150 seats in this whole theater, and they were all recliners with like digital reclining buttons on them, and you know, like semi-normal meal service and stuff like that. It was really nice to like, those chairs were substantially more comfortable than even the nicest chairs at the downtown Vancouver Scotiabank Theater, which, you know, those VIP theaters, they're starting to make their way up here, but it's a little bit slow going. I can see why, you know, you'd be interested in the experience. But I also, you know, I have to ask, and this is like probably the oldest, most hacky bit of all time, but like, is America okay? I got a medium drink. Canada's got a similar problem, by the way, but not as bad. I got a medium drink at the multiplex. What was a medium drink? 44 ounces. I'm gonna do the 44 ounce to milliliters. That's 1.3 liters. AKA like 2 or maybe even 3, depending on where you live, normal sized, you know, probably 2 serving bottles of soda. So I got a medium drink. It was 1.3 liters. It's absurd, okay? If you're like, I don't see what the problem is, you need to leave that country for like 6 weeks and just go to other parts of the world. And I'm not saying that America's like, oh, it's cursed. It's like, no, America's broken. No, I'm just asking, like, are you okay? It's just too much liquid. It's not even like, I mean, it's obviously too much soda. Everybody knows that that's way too much soda. Even the, you know, John Coca-Cola is like, I don't need that much soda. Come on. That being said, I did drink it. But it was Coke Zero, so no it's better for you than water. But it's just too much liquid. I'm a relatively young man, although you wouldn't know it from some of the bits that I do over the course of these episodes, I suppose. And you know, I was able to hold it in for the whole movie, but simultaneously, we'll definitely do this, but I was able to hold it in for the whole movie. But it was a kids movie, you know, it was like 94 minutes long, because, you know, they got to go to nap time. Secondly, I also, you know, we had been driving, because the theater was in Washington, you know, we drove like 2 hours to get there. Not just 2 hours to see the movie, like 2 hours to spend time with friends of ours, but still, you know, I was hungry, so, you know, Kate and I were like, I guess, you know, we arrived a little late, we won't get lunch elsewhere, we'll just get lunch at the theater. So I had, like, a single-serving buffalo chicken pizza. It was basically 4 tiny slices of pizza. The nutritional information suggested that was about 1,100 calories, and it came with a side of kettle-cooked potato chips. Again, I understand, you know, an outsider comes into your country and is like, why are things like this? And where I'm from, it's not like this. Why is this like this and this and that? But there's like, it's just too much. Without being judgmental, I'm not mad at the customer. I'm mad at the, you know, AMC for the situation that it is allowed to be created here. That if you had a non-diet soda, let's ignore the diet versus non-diet soda. If you had a non-diet soda and a meal, it would probably be like 24 or 2,500 calories in 90 minutes. That's just not necessary, okay? And this isn't just as a, you know, oh, NL's on this health kick and now he's being preachy. It's just, here's the thing. Kate watches this Japanese YouTuber and I tune in sometimes out of moribund fascination. But her name is Kinoshita Yuka, and she's not really a competitive eater, but she just eats like a staggering amount of food. And please, I would like to get rid of Plan C. Is there a way? How do I get rid of Plan C? We got too many things on the go here. Okay, like, I mean, okay, I don't know how to change from Plan C. I was holding control for like 10 seconds there. She'll eat like, you know, 10 bowls of gyudon, which is basically like meat and rice. And she'll be like, that's 15,000 calories. And I'm like, okay. These are 10 huge bowls of meat and rice. And I looked down at my, you know, little buffalo chicken pizza, which was fine. It wasn't, you know, it wasn't bad necessarily. But I was just like, why are you 1,000 calories? It's just a little bit of bread, a little bit of cheese, and, you know, a little bit of grilled chicken with Frank's Red Hot sauce. But I don't know, somewhere in the back, they're like, yeah, well, we can use 1/3 the amount of cheese if we just put xanthan gum on the rest of it. It's got the same mouthfeel or something like that. I don't know how it happens. I talked about this before, and it's not just the U.S. You know, I was at my hometown when we were there in July. We went to a restaurant known as Kelsey's, which is, it's like Applebee's, TGI Fridays, etc., etc. And, you know, I got a hamburger, and the hamburger by itself was like 1,200 calories. I was like, what are you doing? This doesn't taste good enough to be worth that. Just, you know, I've looked at the macros myself. A homemade hamburger, you know, might be like 500. This is like worse tasting than a McDonald's hamburger and actually less healthy, which is staggering to me. Like, what's going on in the kitchen there? Anyway, I'm just saying, And then on top of that, it came with potato chips. The pizza, that is. So, you know, we didn't throw it out of a sense of, like, you know, this ungratefulness, I should say. It was more just like, you know, we were like, I can't eat all this food. This is just too much food. So I do want to take Eden's blessing, but, you know, okay, I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. So tell me what you do, what you really, really do. Well, I'll tell you. I wanna pick up algae and leave Ansus on the ground. So should we do this? I mean, I think so, yes. So again, it's the oldest bit in the world. Is like, you know, well, medium soda can feed a family of 6. I'm just popping it, dude, to make the rest of this easier. But simultaneously, why is a medium soda so large? I recognize I could also order a small. But you know, I'm a medium guy. It's like Bun B said in International Players Anthem. I'm a medium soda man, need a medium soda drink. Put my pimpin' in your life. Watch your daddy get rich. Actually think we're probably better off just using mom's knife, sadly. Should I have done this? In hindsight, possibly not, but here we are. I want, if you're mad at me for being mad at the portion size, I want you to argue the opposite. Because, like, I think we've moved as a society beyond the idea that just, like, you know, the only axiom on which we should consider value for money is, like, sheer mass of it, you know? It's like you're not buying a commodity. You're not buying gold, and you're like, ooh, you know? I get an extra ounce of gold for free. Like, this is something that, you know, you put inside of your body. I just want to... Nobody needs, and I say this as a thirst... I was saying it... I've said it in so many episodes. I am capable of imbibing just a shockingly above average amount of liquid. And that's not meant braggadociously. I'm just saying, if I go out to, you know, eat, they're refilling that water cup over and over and over again. Almost to the point of being, like, embarrassing for me. So for me to get a drink and be like, this is just too much. I have a theory about it, and you can tell me where how I stand here. I understand that, you know, when it comes to movie theaters, the theater owner doesn't get paid that much of the box office receipts. You know, they make a very small amount of that. Everyone, by the way, always goes, think of the theater owner. Bro, it's all chains. What do you mean, think of the theater owner? Mr. AMC, who said that, you know, they're exploring doing millennial-focused showings where they encourage people to use their cell phones during the movie because otherwise they stop going. You know, that's the... Won't somebody think a little Johnny movie theater? It's not the 1950s, you know, they still exist. But, like, they're not that common. I say this is, you know, last year there was a major campaign in Vancouver to, like, crowdfund to keep the Rio Theater open, you know? Great theater, good cultural space, but simultaneously... I don't really want to get into it too much because I do like the Rio as a space, but they were like, hey, we need to buy our building or they're going to replace it with condos. And people were like, this sucks, dude. It's like it's a linchpin of the community, and, you know, this is gentrification gone crazy, and we don't need more condos. What we need is a space where we can go see the Goonies and get a $6 beer, you know? And then, you know, a lot of celebrities, particularly from the Vancouver area, like Ryan Reynolds, got behind it and were like, save the Rio. And then they're like, okay, we got enough money, we bought the building. And then the government of Canada was like, or the government of British Columbia was like, hey, now that you bought this building, you need to pay property tax. And they came back and were like, by the way, we also need a little bit more money for the unconstitutional property tax. And I'm like, now you're asking me to give you money that I also have to, like, it's coming out of my pocket. Like, it was coming out of my pocket to begin with, but now I'm like, why am I paying your tax burden? You own this building. It's an asset. Anyway, I get it. I'm just saying, like, I mean, if the other alternative was the business failing, I understand the kind of desperation. But regardless, okay. So I've gotten too far into local politics. I apologize. No offense to the Rio Theater. I'm just saying, it did rub me the wrong way a little bit, but I also understand, you know, you got to keep the business afloat. So, you got to sell concessions to keep the movie theater profitable, because most of the box office receipts go to the studios, which is, you know, I don't know. I don't know if it's fair or not fair. I don't work in the business, really. So, you have to convince people to buy concessions. Nobody wants to pay... Yeah, like, let me put it this way. I don't think your business is staying afloat selling, you know, $1 fountain drinks, right? You gotta make a little bit more money off of each customer than that. So, you want to sell a fountain drink for $5 or $6. The way that you're able to justify that for enough people to, you know, actually make a relatively sustainable business is to just make the drink so large that when people order it, they go, $6 for a soda? What's it better be the size? Oh, yep, there it is. It's the size of an oil tanker on the Pacific Ocean. Okay, I understand now. I mean, at first I was mad, but, you know, at first I was like, I'm getting 10 cents a soda for $6. That's crazy. Then I realized I'm actually getting 17 cents worth of soda for $6, and no longer, my concerns are allayed slightly. So I think that's, it makes sense to me that that's the reason. I just don't, I'm one of those people, and, you know, I guess it's a self-control issue, but, like, I just wish it wasn't so large, because much like a liquid will fill the size of the container in which it is placed, my thirst is also equal to the size of the container in which I'm currently holding. So, you know, if you gave me, like, 3 liters of water, and we're like, sorry, is that too much? I would be like, yeah, but I'm gonna drink it. Like, what am I gonna do, just hold on to it? It'll be ridiculous. I'll drink it and just, like, you know, feel gross for a little bit, go to the bathroom once every 6 minutes, and then, you know, we're good to go. Hey, no, you already given it to me. I'm not gonna give it back. Are you crazy? This is my water. Anyway, I'm just saying. Why is the drink so big? I don't understand why the drink has to be so big. And what's the deal with airplane food? Y'all ever go to your mother-in-law's place and she's like, meh? This is not my bit. This is, I mean, that last one is more like a Louis C.K. bit. But like a new one. Anyway. And then I don't even want to get into it, but on the other side, I'm like, hey, you know, I understand you're a movie theater. You know, it's not like a health food central. But it's not even like, hey, why are you selling a pizza? Literally my only, and I'm just doing this to get algae out of my face at this point, but the only thing that annoys me is that there's no reason for a pizza that small to be that calorically dense. You know, I'm familiar with the pizza macros. Like, I'm not, when I say tiny slices, I'm not saying like, oh, tiny for New York triangular, you know. No, these are like, you know, little baby slices. For each one of those to be 250 calories, I'm telling you, they're like injecting lard into the crust in the back room. It just, something about, you know, frozen prepared foods. They're like, they taste a little bit worse than fresh, but on the bright side, they're way more calorically dense, just in case, you know, you're flying a plane of them and you go down in the Arctic. Alrighty, so we're moving on. This is an easy win, obviously. I'm feeling good. Just stretching out a little bit here early. Ooh. Man, he's been talking about this for a while. Well, I didn't do much of else yesterday, okay? Watched a little bit of that, you know, Smash Bros. Tournament and, you know, Genesis. What are my thoughts on it? Dude, I'm just gonna, don't shoot the messenger on this one, okay? I'm just like, I'm kind of done with esports. I've tried, even while watching Smash, I know what I'm looking for. You know, I know when things are cool. And there's times where I'm like, oh, that tech was really interesting. Like, I've never seen it before where, you know, a Rob goes under the stage and then uses his back A to propel himself a little bit further, and then it saves him some gas so he can recover on the other side of the stage. When I saw that, I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Am I gonna do it? I don't know. I don't know if I possess the manual dexterity to make that reliable. Seems pretty likely to be a self-own, but I don't know. I'm not being anti-esports. Don't take it that way. It's more just like, for some reason, I've just never found it particularly compelling, except as a, you know, as a social gathering and experience. I can understand. And I do love when something hype happens, and then everybody goes, oh, oh, you know, because you feel like you're part of something real for the first time in your life, right? But why do I have 2.5 damage, Mom's Knife? That's devastating, dude. I don't know. I'm just like, I'm not saying I can't get into it. It just like doesn't appeal to me all that much, I guess. I wish I was into esports again, because Vancouver just got that Overwatch League team, but I think I've accepted that for whatever reason, you know, it's not for me. Maybe my kids, you know, growing up, they'll be into esports, you know, they won't see it as this aberration, you know, that I might see it as. You know, I grew up watching sports, particularly ice hockey. I'm sure if you go back, like, you know, 6 generations, you know, hey, son, what are you doing watching that ice hockey? You know, come watch my favorite sport, ball in cup. You know, there's changing cultural attitudes towards this stuff, I guess. It's gonna sound wild, but I don't really honestly want to fight Mega Satan that much, but what I'm gonna do is at least get 1 charge on blank card. And I'm not gonna use the D100. I actually think that it could be for the best for us, because our run has good items, great items. I mean, Holy Mantle on top of everything else, but is just like the damage, when we only notice it really when we switch to Mom's Knife, but the damage is horrendous somehow. 1 more room when we're good. So it's a little spotty, but I mean, you can see it for yourself right there, you know, like I smack this dude with a full charge and, you know, he gets hit, but not really as much as you would expect given the Mom's Knife, Cursed Eye, you know, tractor beam sort of setup we got going on here. That tractor beam's not that meaningful here, but so I guess we'll fight Megas. I didn't mean to be here. But it's okay to be here. I mean, we have 6 luck. So my hope is that, like, we end up getting some chests that will actually provide meaningful benefits to us. And the answer to that question is no. Go F yourself. Okay, I will go F myself then. You know what? Let's do it. All of our stats have gone down. So that strikes me as potentially being bad. Man, they like... all of our stats have gone down. This is horrible. What are... oh, we have Ares. Yo, legitimately, I don't think I can fight Mega Satan like this. We got 9 lives. I think we got to get another D100 charge. Do we have cool bombs, at least? What went wrong on this run? I actually don't understand. Our best damage dealer is Mysterious Eggs. Beams of light from above. Which are actually, you know, on the same plane as the other enemies. I'm just leveling with you. I mean, you're seeing it happen live and in real time. You know, it's not my intention to throw this run away, but I really figured, like, it couldn't get much worse than what we had going on. Turns out I was grossly mistaken. I mean, we got, like, some Cricket's body action going on here, but this is, for a run that was easy from the start, it's gotten a little funky. Conjoined. Seems a little bit better for sure. But I'm pretty much just gonna try to roll the the blue baby fight at this point. I mean, I'm liking what we got going on. Don't get me wrong. I see it. The fast rate of fire, the triple shot. I see the value there. I'm loving this continuum action, too. Still no cool bombs, though. Dude, this Ghost is normally like my #1 enemy, but here he has become, perhaps, dare I even suggest it, my greatest friend. This is a much more fun run. We're gonna get one more charge prior to the boss fight. At least, well, at least, but also most likely just one. And I don't know, we actually might not take it, because we just got a pretty nice damage bonus, you know, in and of itself right there. And as you can see, we're kind of cleaning up. Spun? I thought there was a pretty good chance. It looks like we have Midas Touch as well. So check this out. We're going to get real funky with this one. Oh my god. It's Dust Force. Well, that was a fun way to finish it. For now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. That helps a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. See you.